I'm Rosemary, and here we are in the big performance space with these wonderful WYEP members. Welcome. And we have all gathered together for an auspicious moment. Josh Ritter, you've been here, what, 5 times maybe more?
More, I think.
Yeah, I think the first time you were here, you didn't shave yet. You were wearing short pants.
Right, yeah.
You've got long pants now and a beard.
I had a permission slip from my mom.
And here we are all these years later. Josh has a new album out, and he is going to be performing tonight at the Carnegie Music Hall of Homestead. So before we get into talking, we want to hear some music, please.
Sure. I'll play this song. It's called Thunderbird. I won't worry about the things that I can't change. Yonder roving doom or the troubled train. Just give me that dusty throated singing in that western strain. My love for you might be young, it's white as the plains. You should have seen him coming, you should have seen him go. Alexander curls atop a calico. Now they haven't heard a single word of bugle blow. My love for you might be young, it won't be laid low. A thunderbird, who is it shakes your blood? Who is it swims the water of your blue lakes? A thunderbird, is it me you're thinking of? If you gotta take somebody, I hope it's me that you take. The wine, the winter mucker, and the Mardi Gras. Those old melodious fishes, the piano cart, and all those things that ring so ancient, though their bells are not. My love for you might be young, you're the one that it wants. A thunderbird, who is it shakes your blood? Who is it swims the water of your blue lakes? A thunderbird, is it me you're thinking of? If you gotta take somebody, I hope it's me that you take. Over and over I've prayed your name, over and over and over again. Run between the railings, honey, slip between the seams. I'm seeing you in dreams. I love you then, I love you now, I love you into the gloom. I've never been the type to leave the party over soon. So throw a rope around the sun, I'll throw a rope around the moon. My love for you might be young, it'll take all afternoon. Thunderbird, who is it shakes your blood? Who is it swims the water of your blue lakes? A thunderbird, is it me you're thinking of? If you gotta take somebody, I hope it's me that you take. Thunderbird, who is it shakes your blood? Who is it swims the water of your blue, blue lakes? A thunderbird, is it me you're thinking of? If you gotta take somebody, I hope it's me that you take. Thunderbird, 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 thunderbird. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are here on WYEP, live and direct with Josh Ritter. I Believe in You, My Honeydew is the new album. The last couple times you were here, the major transitions were happening in your life. There was a divorce. There was the death of your mother. And from what I can tell of this record, I don't see like a major shift. Proof that you can create a great record without being, in a difficult place.
Yeah, I think that you know, I think my manager and I have a different. I always say I am not a tortured artist, and he's like, "You are a tortured artist." I think that you can be a tortured person, but very few people can report back in the middle of being tortured with art, and so I prefer to like and the last 25 years has been a journey in getting those things under control so that I can make art, you know, and that I make art when I'm happy, and when I'm not happy, it doesn't come. It just doesn't come. Like, and I think that has to do. It fits very like nicely for me in with my concept of the muse as being this other thing. It's not a person or something external. It's a very real entity in my life, and that entity won't want to hang out with me when I'm a downer for too long, you know.
So, what would you say is there a specific drive that goes through this record?
Yeah, speaking of the muse, I wrote this record with a new understanding, and I would like to say an acknowledgement of how I write, which is that it sounds ridiculous, but I don't remember writing my songs. You know, I don't. When I sit down to write, whatever goes into writing the songs maybe it's like a meditation type of thing or some way, but the me goes away, and whatever comes in is like filtered through me, you know. But I don't think of I can't imagine that I think of the ideas. For me, it's much easier to think of writing music and making a record or creating something in the way that the ancient Greeks they would invoke a muse. Not me. They would call and invite the muse into them, and then the muse would speak through their body, but not the person, not Homer, you know, or whoever is, you know, speaking, but the muse itself, and that feels so much better to me.
But you have a story, so you're using language, but you're also using the language of music. Is that the same situation where you think, where did this come from?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think that I want to make music sometimes, you know, and I grew up, you know, in my room just obsessed with playing music for no one but myself, you know. But now I think, no, there was somebody else there with me listening, you know, and for a very long time I thought it was useful for me to think that I was writing the songs all by myself because I needed to develop my own sense of confidence and my own sense of not being a tourist in playing music or being a songwriter or something. So I took that on very much, but now it's much better for me to think that Josh Ritter, who's writing these songs, is not the person that's not the thing that's doing it, because I don't like to think that I would be taking credit for something that wasn't fully me, you know. And I would like my muse to get a little credit, you know.
Well, the thing is, okay, your muse might be helping you with these songs, but you're the one that has to present them on stage.
That's true. Yeah. That's right.
So that's where the Josh Ritter comes in.
That's
right?
where it comes in. Yeah.
Well, I can even see already just from I've probably known you 25 years or something like that. There's a confidence level that has grown through those years. Like you just
Thank you.
In handling audiences. I mean, that's part of the job that when you first start as a musician, nobody really can teach you that. That's something you just have to learn on your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way to really ever do art is to learn in public. You know, you can practice all you want and do all sorts of things and write a novel or whatever, but unless you share it, then there's a part of it that you're not being able to learn from. You know, because also, like, I remember I read I wanted to read an audiobook. I wanted to narrate an audiobook, so I wrote a book. And then I narrated it, and I got to the mountain, and I was climbing the mountain being like, I am learning so much having to read this back and stand up for some of these sections. and I'll do it differently next time, and that's how you learn, I think.
Yeah, well, you did do a second book. I know that you have another one coming. And I read somewhere that you said The next one coming, you think is really going to be your best. So you're finally getting to that place that you want to be.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. It's you do something, so compulsive. It's a compulsive feeling that is like it's about living in that world that you're creating, whether it's a song or whatever, and you want to make the world as fully formed as you see it in your head, because that's what's beautiful about it, is that you're kind of like on what is that Animal Crossing, or like a video game where you create your own world, and that sort of world is so wonderful to live in once you've kind of come up with the characters and things that you feel like it's almost a shame to not give them the biggest and most vibrant situation to run around in, and this new one, I was having so much fun with that. So, and I had fun with, with my last book about lumberjacks. I learned all about being a lumberjack in Idaho, which is what I always wanted to be, and somehow never got there.
And I'm assuming that you've probably given up on that one.
I have very fragile wrists, and, my hands callous easily.
Well, just before you get into another song, the title track, is this written for somebody specific? Is it a more generalized? Who's I Love You, Honeydew?
Oh, well, okay. So my dad moved to Minnesota from Idaho, and I've spent a lot of time there driving, and I just fell in love with the town names. And I've always loved an outlaw ballad, whether it's the Corridos or Pretty Boy Floyd or any of those songs. I like a good outlaw ballad, so I got a chance to write one with my favorite Minnesota towns in it.
Okay, well, we're here with Josh Ritter, and if you are interested, why wouldn't you be? The Carnegie Music Hall of Homestead. Tonight is the place to see him.
Hell yeah. All right, this is Honeydew. Dark days lead to dark nights, lead to dark years. No light. First heard about your legend, Minnesota way back when, taken from the rich and given to your friends. And your friends were the poor, up and down the line. They might inherit the world a little bit at a time. There are places on the upper plains no comfort's ever been, and you made a holy mission out of laying siege to them. You were spotted in Bemidji, you escaped from Grandma Ray. Everywhere you wanted, there you wanted all the way. Dark days lead to dark nights, lead to dark years. No light. Take the farmer and his family, barely living day to day, and some mysterious illness caused his wife to waste away. Took the bottle that you left at the door, said take a drop. Your prayers have all been answered, now take up your bed and walk. Take the tale of the banker man from Lake of the Woods. Like the devil himself had come to town to stop a snake as best he could. You chopped his tail, let him live, his neighbors burned his bags. He came to town in purple, now he's leaving in rags. Dark days lead to dark nights, lead to dark years. No light. Everywhere that you go, You are surrounded by your myth to believe in someone, though you don't gotta know where someone is. So I never known your whereabouts, but I always know you're there, among the ones with nothing given what you have to share. First the cops came, then the feds came, then the army came, the men who wore no uniform, saying who they might have been. I told them all the same thing, I didn't have to lie. I said I couldn't give you up no matter how hard I try. Dark days lead to dark nights, lead to dark years, no light. And though I'm chained upon this mountain now, sometimes the doubts still creep. But who am I to ken the lines for stretched across the deep? I know you're not the vulture, you might just be the chains. At the end of every day, your face is all that still remains. Apparition is the mother of a million beliefs. And I've had enough to know there are those you shouldn't have to meet. But I believe in you, my honeydew, I know you'll come for me. I'll be singing how you broke me out even as you lift me free. Dark days lead to dark nights, lead to dark years. No light, no light. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm going to try this song, which I love, and is not mine, but I wish it was. I learned this song on the radio when I had a Friday night paper route. Which it's a great way to meet people who are asleep, and not a great way to make a lot of friends, but I made so many friends with the radio at that time.
Across the street, the river runs. Down in the gutter, life is slipping away. Let me still exist in another place, hide underneath the cover of a helicopter blade. Flames are getting higher in effigy, burning down the bridges of my memory. Love may still be alive somewhere, some way, where they're down and only dear 100 steel towns away. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with the words I love you rolling off my tongue. Now never will I roam, I know my precious home, where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. Photographs, kerosene, light up my darkness, light it up, light it up. I can still feel the touch of your thin blue jeans running down the alley. I got my eyes all over you, baby. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with the words I love you rolling off my tongue. Now never will I roam, I know my precious home, where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. Oh, I've got lightning in my veins, rolling through the handle of a slot machine. Love may still be alive in pulling back the handle. No expression on my face. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with the words I love you rolling off my tongue. Now never will I roam, I know my precious home. Where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with the words I love you rolling off my tongue. Oh, never will I roam, I know my precious home. Where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. Thank you. Hell yeah.
Now I've got this image of you maybe being 13, 14-year-old on a, listening to music when it's still dark outside. And I think it's amazing. That's one of the things about music where, you can be a kid and you haven't experienced all that much in the world, and a song pulls you in. You don't know those emotions yet, but something in there is getting you. Do you ever think about like the songs that impacted you when you were a kid and where it was directing you?
I do. I think about that all the time because especially because the earliest stuff that I bought was so bizarre for where I ended up. I mean, not that it was. I mean, music is great. I remember my first tape that I bought was New Kids on the Block. I got Madonna's Immaculate Collection on cassette as well, which when your grandma sees Madonna's navel on that cassette tape, you have, but like and then Tom Waits, and like especially some of his growliest stuff, and Nick Cave, and then like then Joan Baez. Those were the things that they grabbed me for reasons that were so mysterious. Yeah, so mysterious. Like you don't know what it is about you because you haven't even turned into anybody yet. But there seems to be like some resonance in whatever petals haven't unfolded,
I think it's interesting that you mentioned Tom Waits because as I was listening to the record, the song that you did, when you're singing Dark Days, Dark Nights, all the arrangements there, really, I thought, this kind of reminds me of like something Tom Waits would do.
Thank you. Yeah.
So,
I love that. Well, man, where to begin with that guy?
well, there's all kinds of sounds in this record, and your sound has continued to evolve over the years. So it's really interesting. It sounds to me like you were really having fun in the studio with this. Were you just like trying different things? Were people coming in with ideas?
Well, I have an amazing band that some of them I've been playing with for as long as we've known each other, 26 years. And at a certain point, it's helped me to think of the band and myself as a troupe of touring Shakespearean actors where we have to suddenly learn a whole bunch of words really fast and then decide who's going to do what. And after a certain long period of time, you learn that Zach is gonna bring certain qualities that you just can't wait to hear in that song. Or for instance, you just start to kind of telepathically link up on stage. So I guess it's like how would you say? It's a beautiful feeling to work with people for a very long time, so that you can start to work as a one organism. And when I'm playing music or writing songs for stuff, I always think about my band, and I wanted to record someplace with this record. I like to record out of town because I always feel like in a city you have too many options. You could decide you want to like get the French horn, get someone out there. Artists have crazy ideas about stuff that's realistic or not. So I like to give myself some parameters, and I wanted to just record someplace where there was a big sky, outside of town. And Sam Kassir, my producer, found a place in southern Minnesota where we could like go outside and sit out at night after we were done. We're friends, and our lives are, have taken us in all sorts of different directions, kids and partners in different places, and for us to get the chance to get together and make something, I imagine like how my uncle used to go out ice fishing, with his buddies. You go out there and you're sitting and you are fishing, there's fishing happening, there's recording happening, but it's also this chance to get together and have meals and just hang out the way we used to, because that's also part of the common language.
Well, you could be having fun, but if it's a Josh Ritter record, there's going to be a lot of words, but there's also going to be some deep thinking. So I want to make sure I read this title because I don't want to get it wrong. Truth is a dimension, both invisible and blinding. So I read that title and I thought, okay, let me try to unpack this. What is he saying here? And it got me thinking about truth. And, when I was a little kid, I thought, you look up the definition of truth and there it is. It's obvious. As an adult, not so clear, and especially in the time of social media, not clear to me that truth is something that is agreed upon.
Right. Yeah. There's sometimes I think that truth starts out like pulling yarn through like a tiny hole. You can pull it out, but then as it pulls out, it frays. It frays and it gets built up around that hole, and suddenly there's this nebulous cloud of extra stuff that you thought was truth, but it's something else now. It's different, or that these days it became very clear to me that like in the writing of this song, that truth was just, it is something, but what it is and its qualities, it's useful for me to think of it as an actual force, like gravity, but its actual qualities are still so mysterious, and we only really know the truth for ourselves on a few things, and funny, like I can know my own, I can know the truth, and know the truth, but that doesn't mean that you guys don't know the truth that I don't know, and so we're all kind of running around down here.
Well, before we wrap things up here, I do want to point out, you said something about your daughter turning 13. When you have kids, they can kind of be like a point for you to go back to and maybe learn something about yourself. And if it's an infant or a 2-year-old, you don't remember that. Mm-hmm. But you remember yourself at 13, and now you see your daughter at 13.
Yeah.
What does that remind you of? Does it make you more protective of her? Does it make you more protective of who you were?
It makes me so proud of her generation, because I remember being 13 and just getting my butt kicked every day, bullies, and forcing myself into sports that were just, how did I get myself in these situations? And I thought, no, we put us in these situations, and it was terrible. And now I see B, and she's going to school, and she's got this incredibly supportive group of friends around, and she supports them, and they help each other shine. And I think they're doing it great. So that's what it makes me think, because I just remember 13 in the time of my life being torn between life as a 13-year-old, but also the idea that you had this eternal soul that could be, damned at any time, and or the rapture might happen at any time, or wrestling practice was happening again, which is worse, and I just think, how did this happen, and where was my support from my generation, my friends, but I'm not saying that they wouldn't have, but it was a different time, and I'm just so proud of them. I'm so proud of my daughter and her friends. I could rely on them at any time, and I think they would save my life in any situation.
How lucky you are to know your daughter.
Yeah.
You made a good decision with that one. Okay, well, it's Josh Ritter.
She's smart.
I'm not surprised by that, Josh.
It skips a generation, so.
Josh Ritter is playing tonight at the Carnegie Music Hall of Homestead. The new album is I Believe in You by Honeydew. And let's wrap this up with another tune, please.
All right, I'll play this one. This is one that is called The Throne.
If you're past tired, there is a throne for you. Whether the first or last to the fire, there is a throne for you. Though at night you are deviled by the angels you're wrestling, no strength left to grieve, let alone give confession. Here's all I know, what I come here to share. I've been to the throne, and there was nobody there. If you're laid low, there is a throne for you. Even though you sold your soul, there is a throne for you. The weather, the news, the self-isolation, the loss of the muse, the disinformation were made to take burdens never meant to be shouldered. Ain't no one so strong that the world's just a boulder. The past ain't the past. You find that so maddening, like it's already happened. Look around you, it's happening. There are those who don't know what it is they're defending. They ain't been to the throne, and they don't know that it's empty. Though you lost your faith, there is a throne for you. Though you've been cast by the way, there is a throne for you. What kind of a God could this world take after? What father of daffodils, slavery and laughter? We take our first breath. From then on we're drowning. Ain't no wonder the heart beats itself to death, pounding. No time to forgive, no time to forget, or time to consider which angels are better. The war is too big for any one man to win it. But I've been to the throne, and there was nobody in it. So if you are wild, there is a throne for you. Whether untouchable or defiled, there is a throne for you. Come and sit by this fire. They claim that we've stolen, not a thing they could buy could ever shine quite as golden. Come and sit by this fire. We want it to share. Though we're sinners and liars, new world's gotta start somewhere. We're just skin and bones. Ain't a one of us magic, but I've been to the throne. The throne never had it. We're just skin and bones. And that there is power. I have been to the throne. If we want it, it's ours. I have been to the throne. And if we want it, it's ours. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
I think that 13-year-old boy figured things out for himself.
Wow, one day, working at it.
Josh Ritter, thank you so much. Carnegie Music Hall of Homestead tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rosemary. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Thank you for coming.